All right. Welcome to the Top Agent Podcast. I'm very excited to introduce my next guest. I'm speaking with Maggie Ives. Maggie is a results driven, licensed real estate associate with more than 30 years of experience in customer relations, consumer sales, corporate sales, and the ability to deliver outstanding client services. Most recently, Maggie helped establish Vernon Allen Real Estate Management, a premier concierge and service company servicing Port Royal, Old Naples, and Royal Harbor. Maggie, welcome to the Top Agent Podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will have to say that, if I may, with Avern and Allen, I was the director of estate management. I opened up that division for them.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I have my license, but I was running the estates, which actually ended up being very valuable in residential real estate. But anyway.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Maybe we'll get into that as well. But so you have a really great intro video that I saw. I'm gonna actually post it in the notes because I think a lot of people should check that out and probably get a lot of good value from just looking at that and the quality and all that. But it talks about your background and what drives your passion for real estate. So um, really well done. But for those listening now, can you tell us just a bit about your background and how you got into real estate?
I can. So I always say I'm the daughter of a merchant. My family, my mother and father in 1960 bought a used bookstore in Fort Myers, Florida. The gentleman thought that the world was coming to an end and he was going to the rapture in Georgia. So my father gave him $1,000 and off he went, and they started that day. It eventually grew to be the second largest independent bookstore in the state of Florida, and then it closed in 1998 when Barnes and Noble came to town. So we're one of those stories. But I just grew up in the bookstore, always servicing clients, helping people. And what I really specialize in is connecting people to books, homes, whatever I'm selling, which is real estate. So I'm a connector. So oldest of four, and just grew up working really hard at a very young age.
Okay, perfect. And so when did you get into the real estate specifically?
I went to work for two doctors, and they were buying tracts of land. They were growing palm trees out on Pine Island, and they had investors. So I got my license and I started with them helping buying tracts of land, and the investors would grow trees and then I would sell their trees for them. So that's when it started. Was
Okay. Were you a licensed realtor at that time or?
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
of course. Yeah.
So that was like your first entrance and big deals, you can say.
Selling tracts of land. Yes, it was
Nice.
totally different than selling houses, but that's just
Okay.
finding the land for people and connecting them to it, talking to them about it, surveys, listening, really everything I grew up with in the bookstore, and then assisting them in the sale.
Amazing. And you do your work out of Florida, right? Where in Florida?
Yeah, so I'm in Naples, Florida. My office is on Fifth Avenue in Naples. I'm very fortunate to be down here. It's warm and sunny. I'm 3 blocks from the Gulf, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
just try not to rub it in too much. Like I'm in Toronto. I'm looking out at snow right now. So, uh, all right, awesome. So so you have so it seems like you have 30 years of like just corporate work experience, right? So how long have you been a realtor?
I've always been in sales. So I've had my license since 2005. It's a
Okay.
long time, a long time.
All right,
Um,
perfect. All right, so about 16 years
mhm.
in real estate. I think
Yes.
anyone in any business doesn't last that long without providing, real true value to people and really impacting people in a very positive way. So, with that being said, like what's driven or like what's driving you even today to continue to push and grow your business and just help more and more people every single day?
I just People just need help connecting to the right home, the right space. I love families. I'm the oldest of four, and they're just trying to find a second, third, or fourth home in Naples so their grandkids can come down, their daughters and sons can come down, and they can have family moments and family events. And so I'm very focused on helping families find a second, third, or a place to come down in the sunshine where it's safe. It's very Mayberry here, and they can relax and enjoy and create memories.
Nice. That's amazing. Um, and I'm sure you make a lot of great memories in a beautiful place like Naples and other parts of Florida.
It's so nice here. It's beautiful.
I bet. Yeah, I think so. Touching on that again. So I think an important part in finding long-lasting success in any business, but especially in real estate, is figuring out your niche and your specialty. So I see one of your focuses is on the luxury market and catering to that segment. So how did you land on that like niche in the market? Was that intentional, deliberate, or did it sort of find you?
So it's great question. So it sort of found me. I love hospitality and service. And I just grew up in the bookstore. You were just always figuring out how to help people, how to service people, how to do it better. My mother had a very strict rule up at the register. If the phone rang, you could never pick up the phone if somebody was in front of you. Just it was always whoever was in front of you. Even today, when I work with clients, my phone is completely shut off. I don't take any extra calls. So when I came to work for Avon Allen Builder and open up their state management division in Port Royal, which is one of the wealthiest communities in the United States, if not the wealthiest, um, I just I so understood and embraced their need for um, just procedures and how they like things rolled out, and their rules. And you work a lot with their team, so you talk a lot with their assistants and their accountants and their lawyers, and so a lot of times you don't even work with the principal until the very end. It's the team. And I just work very well with groups and understanding them. I don't have a big ego. So I'm a very good listener, and my focus is assisting them at all times. Um, and just respect, listening. Um, I don't know. It just really works for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. You said Port Royal is the community
Mhm.
that's like the
It's
most wealthiest in the U.S.
it has the most billionaires. One of the most
Really?
billionaire,
Wow.
millionaires. Yeah,
So
it's.
what is the average selling price of a home in that community?
I would say average is 15 million.
Wow. Okay.
Average. The least expensive home for sale in there right now is 4.7 million.
Okay. Wow.
And that's rare. That's just,
Yeah.
that'll go quick. It's not on the water. It's an older home. It's probably just, yeah. So, um,
Okay.
uh,
Just for context to listeners, and I always ask the question, you can give it ranges if you want, but do you share how many like transactions you do in a typical year or like volume amounts?
so it depends. So last year was a really good year.
Yeah.
No, we got very, very busy with COVID. So everybody was pouring out of the cities and
Yeah.
just St. Louis, Chicago, and just assisting them to get down here. And we're still seeing, a surge. So last year I tracked close to 20 million. So right
Okay.
in there. Um, but it's
All right. Perfect.
crazy.
Um, Awesome. So, a big a big part of real estate is obviously marketing. This is a topic that a lot of listeners like to get into and get insights from. So, I'm sure your marketing strategy has evolved over the years. How do you view marketing today? Like, and what are some of the marketing channels that are delivering results for you right now?
So I'm just getting ready to launch a website. Chris Reed, who is on the Jerry Metcalf podcast, talked about, it's called Ardor, Ardor. And what he does is he creates websites and then he builds in underneath all the, I always call them worms and cookies, but all the feeders and feelers underneath. So when people type in luxury or they type in water or sunshine, I get a higher ranking on Google and they will head to my website. So I've invested a lot of time and money. We haven't launched it yet. It should launch in a couple of weeks, but he's had a tremendous, it's been a tremendous experience. He has about 6 people working for him all over the world. We meet every 2 weeks and they designed my website and they manage my website and they'll track it, where people are looking, where people are coming from. And I always say I'm creating, like, there are people that I need to help. And so I'm creating a portal from them to me, a way for them to reach me. So the website is important. And then Instagram is important. Oddly enough, I don't have a single client on Instagram. I mean, they're all, an older demographic.
Yeah.
I don't have a single client on Facebook. I don't have a single
Interesting.
client. Most of my clients are on LinkedIn though. So I do a lot of work on LinkedIn, and I'm just listening to a lot of information about people are doing Snapchat and Clubhouse and TikTok. So I'm thinking about doing some TikTok videos.
So right now is most of your marketing efforts like online on social channels?
Do you know what? To be perfectly, so I have all of that going, but I'll tell you what really got my business going. I'm almost 100% referrals in this
Okay.
market. So it is, I have for years, for 3-4 years, I've had lunches with the same people every other week for 4 years, dinners with the same woman every month for 12 months, coffee with the same people. I do breakfast, lunch, or dinner in rotation with my clients. Oh my gosh, 7, 8 events a week. I'm always in front of them. I'm always inviting them. And then on Fifth Avenue, they have wonderful events, like Sales is a great restaurant, and they had a Halloween event. So I bought a table. A table was $1,000. I invited 5 clients, different clients that I thought would work well together. So I host an event and I invite them and they come and we have a lot of fun. So I do a lot of things like that. I buy a lot of wine dinners. Um, I just bought another brunch at Sales for 12, so I'll invite my clients to that. So I have events like that. And that has really, really worked
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
group. They really like that. They love to go to lunch. They love an early dinner.
Yeah. So,
Love
so
it.
I was hoping you'd say that. So, a lot of successful agents talk about, just referrals, their sphere of influence and just your network. So, I'd love to dive into that a little bit. So, how do you first of all add, like, is there any particular things you do to add to your sphere of influence and add, new contacts, or is that even a strategy, or are you just focusing on your like existing, sphere?
So great question. So the website's going to draw in new people, and we've set it to, if 500,000 or over, that will draw in the new people. And then I just work really hard with the sphere that I have. Everybody gets a Christmas gift. Um, I always give gifts for referrals and gifts. I just gave a client an Hermes blanket. She gave
Nice.
me $13 million worth of business. She's going to get an Hermes blanket.
Very cool.
Um, the day I take a list, when the listing starts, if somebody decides to list with me, the day the listing goes live, they get, $150 worth of flowers from me. Really cool. And a personalized note saying, thank you for embarking on this journey with me. Um, Referrals I really listen to what people like and then send them back. Like I just did a
Yeah.
big $500 diffuser that I sent to somebody because they gave me a referral. I'm always writing notes. I write a minimum of 2 notes a day. to people. Um,
Okay.
I have a my latest thing is I have a stamp and it's wax. It's the wax stamp.
Yeah.
So I had my monogram made into a stamp
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I drip the wax, and then
Yeah.
I stamp it down on the envelope. I love that.
I
So
like, yeah, that's
yeah.
cool. You don't see that very often. That's
No,
nice.
it takes time. It took time and my marketing people to make the stamp.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was fun.
That's pretty cool.
I,
So yeah, a lot of, I think real estate is still very much, and I personally think will always be a very relationship driven business. It's such an important transaction and asset and purchase or sell in someone's life. So I think it'll be very hard to take that personal touch away from it. Um, so do you have is there anything you do that's sort of systematic to sort of nurture these relationships you have? You mentioned a few things, with events and lunches and things, but is that very like organic, or do you do something systematic with like reminders to remind you to reach out to people or things like that?
so my CMA, I love Revolve. I don't know if you've used Revolve or anybody, but it's excellent. I paid to have the navigator. They onboarded me. They designed it. It's wonderful. I systematically, not casually, systematically have lunches, dinners, and breakfasts scheduled with clients. Like it just happens. It's there. It's pre-scheduled. It happens. Um, and then always their birthdays, they get a card. Always Christmas is systematic. Um, I call a minimum of 10 people a day. So I
Okay.
rotate through. I try to do 3 realtors a day, 1 or 2 clients a day. Um, and then sometimes just service people that are helping me, my contractor who's outstanding, um, my partner James, who I work with a little bit. We'll actually work a lot together. I have somebody in the office that I work with, and just I'm always in touch, with people.
Yeah. So okay, so that you call 10 people a day, 3 realtors and 7 to 10 clients. Um Talk about the realtors. Like what do you
Oh,
do to talk why do you use
God
realtors?
bless the realtors. Let me tell you, that is, and Metcalf has talked about this forever. The realtors are the best kept secrets. They are like gold, these people. They are amazing. I mean, they will call me back. They will talk, and people I don't know, people just that I reach out and I leave messages and they call me back. And I'm just like, how are you? How's the market? How's the market where you are? What's happening? How's your listing? Are you seeing people? What's the
Right.
latest thing you're doing? They're
Okay.
amazing. Sometimes I get listings in areas that I'm not quite familiar with. So I look at the top 3 realtors in the area. I call all 3 of them. They are so generous. They always tell me like what's happening and in and out and did I know this, and realtors. So I give realtor gifts. So
Mm,
if you're on the other side of me, you get a gift. And I always do a
okay.
corsicle. It's like this, like a corsicle. Oh, well, that doesn't have like this. I do a corsicle
Yeah.
and I put your name on it. So this is a
Cool.
big one, and I wrap it and it's drop shipped to you with a handwritten note
Nice.
to say thank you. I'm always grateful for them on the other side. And then sometimes agents will just help me, or they'll just be kind, or they'll be like, okay, this building, like this couple that runs it, here are the ins and outs, da 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 da. And I'm like, thank you so much. And they don't get anything out of it. So I'll send them a corsicle or a thank you note. But
Yeah.
other agents are gold. They're amazing. I mean, I just can't say enough about other agents in this area. I'm so
That's interesting. I've never heard that. Seems like a really good hack, just to get ideas and
oh,
little tidbits of information you can get. And I've never heard a realtor giving another realtor like a gift for being on the other side. So that's really
always
cool as well.
take care of them. And even when sometimes they're not very good, I always write my note. I always thank them because I know they're doing their best and it's going to come back around. And, so I sell it to them. But yeah, they love to talk. They love to tell you about their neighborhood or their favorite areas or, the little ins and outs. Yeah, it's a great business.
Can you think of one piece of maybe information or advice you got from a realtor that stood out from you that you're like, oh, sort of like an aha type of moment or
It's a listing I have right now, and I think I'm a little overpriced. So I called a realtor named Lois, who is sold in Pine Ridge for 80. She's 80 and she's sold in there for, I swear, 80 years. And she's so nice. And she just took a new listing in there. And I called her and I said, "Hi, Lois, it's Maggie Ives. I have the listing down the street." And I said, "I see you're at 4.5. I'm at 4.3. I said, "I think you're a little overpriced." She said, "You think I'm overpriced?" She said, "I've got a 2010 house on 1.6 acres with a brand new roof and a 6-car air conditioned garage. You know what you have?" Like, she knew my house. "You have a 2001 on 1.3 acres with a 2-car garage and a roof that's 20 years old. You're overpriced." And I was like, "Oh my God." But I mean, she was just so funny and so nice. And yeah, she was good. So, but it's really interesting. People like Lois lives in there. She's worked in there and she knows it inside and out. And so it's just really fun to hear about, her perspective and what's going on. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're really
That's a
nice.
funny story.
She was like, "Let me tell you what you have. You have a 2001 with an original roof." I'm like, "Oh."
That's cool. That's good. I like that. Um, so what about any more traditional forms of marketing or anything you do, like other than the online stuff, for example, like, a lot of agents I speak to have a lot of success, like door knocking, for example, or cold calling. Like, have you done any of that? Are you still doing any of that?
So I'm very comfortable in front of somebody I don't know. I don't door knock, and I've never done that. I do occasionally sit up front at Sotheby's on Fifth Avenue. We have a desk, and I sit up there for walk-ins. But I really haven't had time for that in the last year. So it's just 100% referrals and taking care of um, who I have. But I've had some
Yeah.
wonderful clients walk through the door that I have helped. God, getting new business. I swear it's the phone. You just get on the phone. You talk to your contractor, you talk to your electrician, you talk to anything. I did ninja training twice. And so they have this whole thing where you bring up your phone and you go to your contacts and you go right here to your contacts and you shut your eyes and you go, wee, and you wheel through and then
That's
you put
cool.
your finger
Yeah.
and it's like AC company and you call them, so it's just, it's just reaching out and listening for me here. It's a tough market. 34102 Old Naples. The realtors here that are very successful have been doing it 15, very long, much longer than I have, like forever. And they are just outstanding at what they do. And we have Karen Von Arsdale and Pete Rapucci and James Bates and just people that have lived and known this particular market for a very long time. And they do an amazing job. I, when I left state management and I knew this is the market I wanted to work in, people were very, very discouraging because there are so many strong agents that live right here, work right here. And I knew this is where I should be. I knew hospitality was going to be important, service was going to be important. And I just didn't listen to any of the noise. And it was a little crazy. I just dove in. Like I just, my credit card was really high that first year with lunches and dinners and
Yeah.
coffees and, just going and going and going and getting that to work. So,
So that's a good point. So, Naples, very competitive market, like you said,
oh,
a lot
and
of competitive
great
markets
agents.
too. So I'm from Toronto. It's
Mm.
highly competitive market here in Canada. So many agents, especially newer agents, let's say, might be intimidated by that. You're going into a competitive market. There's so many successful realtors and big names out there, and
Oh,
so how do you break through that intimidation feeling or whatever it is, and not only compete with these agents, but exceed those other realtors and be that big name yourself?
you know, I knew this is what I wanted. I knew this was my demographic. I knew this was who I was the best with. The estate management division grew so large. I understood this client, and I saw other realtors coming and going when I was working with these clients, and I knew I could just do 1,000 times better than some of them. I could just do better. And honestly, I mean, people said I was crazy. I mean, I had somebody tell me I was going to be living out of a trash can. I mean, I tried originally to join with like a senior realtor in this area, actually four of them. And, some of them said, you're going to make so little money. I'm going to feel guilty. Like it was tough. It
Mm.
was tough. And I went to a hair salon here in Naples, and Color Salon, and he does everybody in Port Royal and everybody in Old Naples. And let me tell you, it was the best hair color I've ever had. But it was very tough to put that money together for the first couple of years, to go there and be in that atmosphere and
Yeah.
meet people there. And I know, and the owner has become a tremendous patron. I mean, I sold him a couple of houses now, and he's given me, sent me some really great clients. And so, I mean, where you get your hair done. I mean, I just try to think really creatively, just.
But it seems like, your success wasn't like an overnight success. Like, you didn't
No.
fall into this. Like, it seems like you had a lot of grit, a lot of persistence. Um, so talk about that. Like, how did you find that inside yourself and push through?
So I'm a huge reader, thanks to the bookstore. So Into the Magic Shop is a book that I love. The Ninja Training, Larry Kendall was outstanding. Um, I read Grit. Uh, and then I went to the life coach school, Brooke Castillo, and I joined her life coach school. And she's all about just being tough, taking the emotions out of it, learning your brain. I learned to meditate so I would stay focused. Um, Jack Canfield, I read all of his books. I just saw it. I wanted it. I just, I just,
How how important do you think it is to invest in yourself and just continuously like learn and grow and fuel your mind? Like, how much of your time is spent on like investing in yourself?
so I have a very strict morning protocol. I'm up at 4:30. I work out 5 to 6. I come home, I shower, I make my green shake, I do my giant water. And then I read my Bible passage. This year I'm doing the Stoics. So Ryan Holiday, the Stoics. So I read his daily Stoic message, and then I write in the journal, and then I read 10 pages in something. So I'm very disciplined about that. And then I usually sit and I meditate. And if I don't do it then, I do it a little bit later in the car. I have a
Mhm.
blanket in the car that I keep that I love. So I think that's all very important. I work very hard to write 2 notes a day to somebody, anybody that's ninja training as well.
Mhm.
And I think it just keeps your mind in gratitude and thankfulness and focus. I listen to podcasts constantly. I'm obsessed with Dax Shepard, the armchair expert, Tim Ferriss, Jerry Metcalf. I've listened to some of her podcasts 3 times, and the third time, like, I will take notes and outline it. I mean, she was a game changer for me. She was amazing. I mean, um, so I think it's very, very, very important. My word for the year is growth. Sarah Blakely's husband, Jesse Eitzler, I always butcher his last name, Eitzler. I joined his Big Ass Calendar Club this year. So it's this massive calendar, and I have to have 6 adventures, and I have to have one misogi, which is something, really hard to do. So my misogi is to buy a new piece of property. And then he has daily vitamins, like a daily vitamin tracker. So I try to walk 10,000 steps a day. I mean, it sounds crazy. It's like telling you makes me sound crazy. Like 10,000 steps a day. I try to write one good Google review a week. I do my stoic. I say my prayers. I might write a letter of gratitude. Um, So I guess I think it's really important because I've just been talking a really long time about
No,
it.
so this is good. I think this is a very important topic, and clearly you have a good a routine and a structure, and a lot of successful people I speak to have the same do sort of the same thing. Um, did you ever struggle with getting into that structure every single day, like waking up, doing this at the same time, and just starting your day in that flow, especially like in a profession like real estate, which is very um, inconsistent, right? Like you can have like a busy day
Oh,
today and a busy night, morning, where it's very all over the place. So like, did you ever struggle with finding that routine?
yes. And so if you've read Ryan Serhant's book, he does his whole day the night before. Like he will write it out the whole night before. So he wakes up, man, 7:30 is in an off, like he knows what's happening. He's very in control of his days. I don't have that kind of control because yes, I have a client call me out of the blue and wants to do this or wants to do this. But I do hour one Monday. It's a program Brooke Castillo's, the life coach school. And so I sit on Sunday nights and I map out my entire week and I try to really, I just stick to those blocks. But yes, I wake up at 4:30 this morning and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get up. I was up too late watching Firefly Lane from Netflix. What was I doing? I do not want to get up. I don't need to work out. I think I'm really strong today. And I just, it's no, it's not like I wish I could say I jump out and I'm like, yay, it's the morning. Oh, I'm going to get to work out. It's completely dark outside. I mean, my eyes are like stuck together. And I like, but no, but I go and I do it and it becomes a habit. And then that's what makes me really,
Yeah. So
strong. But yeah, no, it's never. I wish I could say that. My trainer, I asked him the other day, I said, "Are you ever tired?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
so you'd say this is still something you're continuing to get better at and improve on.
Yes. Yes. And my two notes, like I really fight hard. If you look at my back seat, I have custom note cards and stamps because, sometimes I get too busy in the morning and I don't do it and so I just really try to write those notes of gratitude of thank you and like I'm going to send you a note. And maybe
I hope
and
so.
maybe
With
and
that
maybe it's
stamp.
Worsical with your name on it. So they'll probably do your initials. My sister has a store, so that really helps.
That's
She does all
awesome.
of that for me.
That's amazing.
So
No, it's so what I'm getting at, what I'm hearing here, it's very cliche, and because it's cliche, I think a lot of people overlook it. But I think it truly starts with your mind and your mindset, and just putting yourself in that place that, like, I personally have a motto, which is no plan Bs. Like if something's in my head and I'm committed to it, like I'm not instilling a backup plan in my head, which is what a plan B is. So how do you have any tips or suggestions on how to build that mindset and put yourself in that place?
The Morning Miracle, Hal Elrod, that was an excellent book that really got me going.
The Morning Miracle.
It's called The Morning Miracle or The 5 a.m. Club. That was wonderful. Both very easy reads. Um, I just decided if I was going to perform, so my goal is to do 100 million by the end of 2024. So I have to work backwards. How am I going to get to 100 million by the end of 2024? Well, I've got to be disciplined about my morning. It's got to be disciplined about my day. I've got to be focused. I've got to be clear. I cannot be drinking on a Tuesday night. I can't be I'm very careful about where I spend my time at night. I try to, I make myself get into bed. I do not drink during the week, very rarely, unless it's social. And then it's really limited. And I was never like that before. I've got to have a clear mind. Um, so it's just been a long, so what does $100 million producer do? Well, you know what? They're not wasted on a Tuesday night. You know,
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
not, they're sleeping 7 to 8 hours. They're organized about their day. They know the market inside and out. They're on the phone talking. They're living, they're breathing it. They're disciplined. You just,
I find that very interesting. It's like, we everyone has access to the playbooks of all the most successful people in the world, but um, most people, for whatever reason, just don't act on this advice. Not only advice, but like literally, like step by step, do this, don't do that. Most people just don't act on it or don't practice it. So, you know, how have you been able to take what you've learned from others? You mentioned a bunch of names and books, and actually put it into practice in your day-to-day life?
Um, I just I just wanted to I just wanted this dream. I just wanted this dream. I wanted this big dream. And it was I cannot tell you how many people said I couldn't have it. And I just knew that there were people that needed my help. And I think the ninja selling, the first course that I took really talked about gratitude. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to help more people. I'm so grateful to be here. Um, I just wanted to give back. Part of what I do with my money is a lot of times I'll give back like 10% of my commission to their favorite charity, the hospital. I just really believe in giving back. I just, it's a short time in this life. I mean, Jesse Eisler, he'll tell you you live to 78. That's the average age. So how many more summers do I have? That's his big thing, 55, 65, 70. So I have 23 more summers. That's all I have left to live. And you start thinking
That's
about life
crazy.
like
Yeah.
that, it's
Yeah.
just
Wow.
like, and there's nothing in the past. Like I used to live like everything about my past, like think about my past and live by my past. But no, that's over. That's that. So it's just everything is forward, being in the front of the bus. And I have 23 more summers to live, hopefully, and how many more times am I going to see my sister in California? I see her twice a year. So I'm going to see her 40 more times in my lifetime. 100 years,
Yeah.
everybody here is going to be dead.
That's
Like it's
powerful. Yeah.
over.
That is a powerful way to look at it. And I think that's eye-opening. Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Especially for me, that really connects being in Toronto, where we have long winters. So
We
like we
do.
know our summers. So that's interesting. Um, no, very inspiring. You have a very inspiring story. I'm glad we were able to connect. I want to ask you one thing. So I'm very curious, like just being in the market that you're in, we're sort of switching gears a bit. But being in the market that you're in, you mentioned, you have a listing, you spoke to this a competing realtor down the street. In dealing with like the luxury market that you're in, is there anything specific you do to make your or help your listings stand out compared to the competition and make, that property really, you know, be on the forefront with people buying?
So I'm obsessed with photography. I have a really good photographer. He's an absolute fortune, but I'm obsessed with photography, drone photography. And then in the photography, I like to create a moment. Some people call it their money shot, but just a moment. Like they want to see themselves in the home having a moment. It's almost like interior decorating photography.
Hmm.
you're just in it. You see the story in the shot and you see yourself in that photo having a cocktail or walking on the beach or so I really work hard for in the moment shots. So I think photography and then definitely calling other agents helps. Calling, prospecting, reverse prospecting. I email everybody back that reaches out and sends out my listing. I get on the phone and I talk to them. I try to stay in communication with my seller quite a bit.
Hmm.
And then knowing the product inside and out, I'm always there for my showings. I know my product. I know what's happening. I know the building. I know the people. I've always loved, I just love it when they come and I can show them everything. I have to be very disciplined because you cannot talk a lot. So I work on like an elevator speech, like this is 707. I'm going to tell you about the house quickly and then it's yours to enjoy. So I have to work on not, you know,
Yeah.
listening, two ears, one mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get excited.
Yeah, I spoke to another realtor a while ago, and he said something similar with how he markets like his photography, for example. So like, let's say he's taking pictures of the pool, like he's not selling it as like here's a pool, but like more the experience. On like he even will have actors in the pool with like people laying down and like swimming. So the
Oh, I
person,
love
yeah, I found it pretty interesting. You don't see that too often, but I can
and
see
it's
that
more
connecting.
money. Yeah, it's more money. He's got to hire people or get people. It's so much more work what he's doing. Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah, I thought so too. So other than like amazing photography, the drones, like once you have all this, is there anything besides that that you do to get this listing out there and in the eyes of potential buyers?
So I really believe in the neighbors. The neighbors have friends who have friends, especially in the condos. So I have a very expensive, oversized postcard that I send out that my marketing girl did for me. That's actually really, I was going to show you one really nice. Um, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's like $350 to send out 50 of them. And it's just announcing that the listing is coming on and here we go. And it's beautiful.
Yeah,
And I believe in the neighbor. Don't you? Don't you think the neighbors, like it's always
totally.
the neighbor or the neighbor has a friend?
Yeah.
They're your best resource. So I really chatted up with them, send out the postcards with them. I cannot believe how many sales are made with the neighbor. I mean, it's
That's
just
true. Yeah, I can totally see that, especially in like older, more
yeah.
mature neighborhoods where people have been here for a long time and they actually love the neighborhood and they want their friends and family to join them. And yeah, I could totally see that.
Yes. And then I do Wall Street Journal advertising. It goes in the
Okay.
paper, it goes through digital marketing. And then, of
Yeah.
course, Sotheby's, their website is huge. And then I have all of my LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and now my website, which is going to go live in 2 weeks. That's going to be huge. And that was so expensive. And then I pay a monthly fee. Well, I shouldn't say, sorry, Chris, it's not so expensive. It's the perfect amount for what it is. So what I pay out to that, it's going to come back 10 times over. So I'm very excited about that. I think I'll have about 21 leads a month from that.
Wow.
So, and they
Wow.
work on the backside to watch that come in. So,
Amazing. So just to wrap it up, one question I have. You already gave so much incredible value and
I
insights
did.
already, I think. But if you can sum it up to let's say a new realtor listening, or someone who's just entering the business, or even an experienced realtor that's looking to like level up their game, um, what's the one piece of advice you would give to someone like that?
So if it's a brand new realtor, I would do everything I could to find a mentor. I would work on a team or a mentor. Just that would be. I was very, very lucky to connect with James Bates. I mean, that's been amazing. But definitely a mentor for a new realtor. If somebody's already in the game and they want to level up, I would really focus on the wonderful clients that you have and what you can do for them. I would do more for them. I would call them more. I would send them more things. I would invite them to events and lunches or the theater or a baseball game or um, I would do much much more for the people that you have right in front of you. Um, so many realtors are so afraid they don't want to spend any money on their clients or their or the other realtors, and I have just found that it just comes back. It just comes back at you. Who said it you can never get poor by giving? Anne Frank. I just had that quote. You can never get poor by giving.
Yeah,
Giving,
so
giving,
true.
giving, giving, giving. Every day I pray, I say, who can I help today? Find me somebody that I can help. And I'm not even super religious. I just
Yeah,
believe in, you know, spiritual and karma and I just say, find me somebody to help today. Who can I help today?
I
Every
love
day.
it. I love it. Amazing. Maggie, thank you so much. I do wrap up. We are getting short for time, but I do like to wrap up each episode with what I call the top three. Some heavy hitting questions.
Okay.
I'm joking. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, number one. This should be easy. Your what would you say is the most impactful book that you've read? You've named a couple already, but
Into the magic shop.
Into the Magic
Into the
Shop.
magic shop. And I'll get you the author. 100% into the
I don't think I've heard of that one.
oh, it's a beautiful book. He's a neurosurgeon. It's with Into the Magic Shop. I can't believe I can't think of his name. It's James Doty, Doty. He's a doctor.
Okay.
Into the Magic Shop, a neurosurgeon's quest to discover the mysteries of the brain.
Huh. I'm gonna check that one out. Sounds
The
interesting.
mysteries of the brain and the secrets of the heart. I've given away so many of these copies.
How many
I think
times
that's
have you read that book?
3.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
mean, it's just Into the Magic Shop is my favorite.
Amazing. All right, perfect. Number 2, your favorite vacation spot.
Where I want it, like I'd love to go to the Maldives.
Have you been? Never been?
No, but
No.
that's a goal. That's a goal.
Yeah.
2024. That's a goal. Have you ever been
Yeah.
there?
No, I haven't. I
No.
haven't. Looks
Um,
beautiful though.
I'd love to go. And then New Zealand. I love Lord of the Rings. So it's all
Yeah.
about the journey. It's all about getting there. And you've got your little team that goes with you to the end. It's all about the journey. I have a Lord of the Rings ringtone, which is terrible. But I'd
Nice.
love to go to New Zealand and see
Nice.
where that was shot.
So, what about places you've been? Any place that?
Oh, that I've been. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I've been to St. Bart's. I love St.
Okay.
That's and
Nice.
Turks and Caicos.
Nice.
Everything. I live here with the beach and sun, and I'm talking about beaches and sun. But so
That's funny. All right, perfect. And lastly, Maggie, if you can go back, what's the one thing you wish you knew when you were just starting out in real estate?
oh my God. I mean, I wish I knew more about contracts. I wish I'd taken almost like a law class. I wish I'd known more about negotiations. Since
Mhm.
then, I've taken classes. Um, if I could go back to college, I would do that. I would take negotiation class, business classes,
That's a
contract
good skill
classes.
to learn in real estate, I think, negotiating.
It is. It is. And there's Never Split the Difference, which is, of
Yeah.
course, Jerry Metcalf's favorite. I've read
Yeah.
that. I've listened to that. I have it on repeat. Harvard Business School has a wonderful class that I actually signed up for, and then COVID hit and I couldn't go. But negotiating is, there's a realtor in town. She's number one, I think, in the United States, maybe, or number two, Karen Von Arsdale. And I asked her assistant the other day, I said, Virginia, why is she so good? Like, what, I mean, I think she wrote 300 million this year. I mean, it's crazy. And she said, communication. She knows how to communicate.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, of course, this will launch me into a whole other courses and classes and, but
Yeah.
communicating. So,
Very good. Yeah. No, that's a big one for sure. Maybe we can save that for the next episode. Well, Maggie, thank you so much. This
thank
was
you.
an amazing chat. I'm so glad we connected. I know so many people are going to get inspired and gain a lot of insights from this conversation. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I
And I hope we
appreciate
can do it again sometime.
it. I do too. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Maggie. Have a good one.
You too.